This is the beginner session for problem list from the discharge routine. So when you're in the discharge routine, of course, the top section here, it gives you access into the patient problem list. You can see here that there aren't any entries in the medical, surgical, family, or social history sections. In order to get into the problem list, you can click the blue edit button here. I'm going to pause and just say over here on the right side, you can see of all these different buttons, there is the problem list button here. This will take you right into the problem list routine. If you want to go in there prior to discharge, that's certainly fine. There's no need to do this on discharge. In fact, it's generally desirable if you do it prior to discharge. But the last possible time is on discharge. It's also a place where you can reconcile the problem list, just like reconciling medications. Many patients already have problems in the problem list from previous visits, but the goal here is to put a pertinent problem related to this visit in the problem list. The reason for doing that is that the problems will flow from here, ones that are identified as active problems associated with the current visit will flow out to the health information exchange once we get those highways flowing. So this is a step towards interoperability between EMRs. All right. Well, let's go on into the problem list. Again, the no problems entered on this patient so far. It's clean. It defaults to the active problem section. You can see that there are other types of problems, and you also notice that there are different columns with metadata about these problems. It is possible to spend a lot of time talking about massaging, reconciling, thinking about all these different parameters of the problem list. For now, I don't want to get bogged down in that. I just want to show you how to get a problem in there. Come down to the bottom left corner, and this takes you into the problem list routine with the search bar. This search bar looks into a dictionary that has tens of thousands of different terms in it. So as you type in a term, osteoarthritis, generally you're not going to have any problem finding a category that will be appropriate. One of the problems, though, is you can find too much. And if you have a specific thing that you're looking for, it can be hard to tease out, because you can see as you kind of go through osteoarthritis, you can flip through these different pages, and there are dozens to hundreds of different types of osteoarthritis. So a search strategy is to type in more than just one word. Let's say I wanted to do osteoarthritis right hip. You do have to spell it. Actually, wow, that was nice. You don't have to spell it right all the time. So this is better than some of the other Meditech lookups, so it knew that I really meant right. That's nice. So let's pick that. You see that it does pre-populate some of these different columns here. It assumes it's an active problem because you're actively typing it in, and that it puts it in as an acute problem. You can, if you want, change this to a chronic problem. Don't change it to a resolved problem. So even if it's something that has truly resolved, if it's pertinent to this visit, if you click it as resolved, it's not going to flow out of the EMR to the health information exchange. It's just it'll live in the problem list, but it's not something that it flows in and out of the EMR easily. So for now, either limited to either acute or chronic. We can say chronic for kicks. Do click the current visit button. You'll see why this is functional later. So that's one example. Let's look up another problem here. Let's say you're a general surgeon and you want to do, gangrene of gallbladder. Same thing. It says it's a medical problem. If you want to, just like you did the other one, you can change it to a surgical problem. For now, don't change that to a past problem. That will put it into a different section of the problem list altogether. Let's just leave it active and call it surgical. It says it's an acute problem, probably so. Current visit. Those are kind of the pathophysiologic processes. But let's say you've done a procedure on a patient and you feel like that's the main reason they were in the hospital. You can put in surgical procedures. However, for this to make sense kind of down the road, for it to live in the problem list over time, it has modifiers of history of or status post attached to it. So let's say that you've done a laparoscopic cholecystectomy. So status post laparoscopic cholecystectomy. So that's fine. There are other terms where you'll see a lot of history of. Let's do hip arthroplasty. So this has a history of total hip arthroplasty. So again, what's the difference between status post and history of? Well, some people say that status post has the meaning of it's in the very recent past and history of is more distant past. I think that's kind of splitting hairs. I think in general, guiding folks towards using history of is going to make the list look cleaner over the long haul. So I would say that's preferable, but not absolutely necessary. And again, let's identify those as current visit problems. So now you can see that these problems are in the problem list and they're categorized according to the different parameters that you specified. You can also see that they have ICD-9 codes attached. In the future, they'll have ICD-10 codes attached when that mandate comes. So let's go ahead and save the list. This is one hiccup that occasionally happens if you don't remember to save it. It'll prompt you to do that. Now when you go back into the discharge routine, you'll see that these items are in blue. Blue indicates that these are current visit problems. That's what you want to see. So we want at least one blue current visit problem in the problem list. There'll be another session about more advanced management of the problem list in the next session. Thank you.